The gymnasium smelled faintly of pine and polished wood, and the Christmas lights overhead cast a soft glow across the rows of children seated on the floor. Their laughter echoed under the high ceiling, but one sound cut through the air like a warning bell. A sharp, urgent bark from a German shepherd wearing a black police vest. His hackles rose, his paws skidding slightly on the floor as he lunged forward, barking at the man in red. Santa Claus had just walked in, sack slung over his back, a jolly smile frozen on his face. The children's giggles died instantly. Hundreds of small eyes widened in confusion and fear. What could possibly be wrong with Santa? And why was the canine officer, always calm and gentle during school visits, suddenly on high alert? If you're watching this and believe in kindness, second chances, or the unshakable loyalty of animals, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Positive Tales. Stories like this remind us that heroes sometimes have 4 paws and a wagging tail. Your support helps us keep telling them. The day had started like any other December celebration at Maplewood Elementary. Teachers had spent weeks planning a surprise Christmas assembly. Local police had volunteered to visit with their K9 unit to show the kids how dogs help protect the community. And to make it extra magical, one of the officers had arranged for Santa Claus to come in with gifts. No one could have predicted the storm of emotions about to unfold. Officer Karen Mitchell, a young handler with tired eyes, had been working with Rex, the German shepherd, for 3 years. Rex had saved lives, found missing children, and uncovered hidden dangers no human would have sensed. Yet here, in this safe gym filled with tinsel and paper snowflakes, he was transformed. His body trembled with tension, ears pinned back, gaze locked on Santa. Karen's hand tightened on the leash. She whispered under her breath, but the dog's instincts were stronger than any command. Something was wrong, and Rex would not be silenced. To the children, Santa looked perfect. Red velvet suit, snowy beard, black boots shining. But beneath that cheerful disguise was a man hiding something far darker than anyone expected. The sack on his back, heavy and bulging, was not filled with toys. The Santa who had arrived wasn't the volunteer from the police department, but a desperate stranger who had slipped in through an unlocked door, thinking a school filled with distracted children would be an easy mark. He carried stolen goods and, more chillingly, a plan to escape through the crowd unnoticed. Only Rex's nose and heart sensed the danger in time. The room seemed to hold its breath. Rex barked again, deeper, louder, a rolling thunder that made even the bravest kids inch backward. Karen's training told her not to act rashly, but she felt her own pulse race. She stepped forward, eyes flicking between her partner and the man in the red suit. Santa's gloved hand twitched near his sack. He tried to smile, but the corners of his mouth quivered. Behind him, a small boy in a wheelchair whispered, "Why's the dog mad at Santa?" The question hung heavy in the air, breaking Karen's hesitation. She signaled Rex to move. The next moments played out in heartbeats, but felt like an eternity. Rex lunged forward, not to bite, but to block. He planted himself between Santa and the children, barking ferociously, his tail stiff like a flag of warning. Karen's voice rose as she commanded everyone to stay back. Santa's eyes darted to the gym doors. He shifted his weight as though to run. The children's faces turned pale with confusion, some gripping each other's hands. Christmas magic had turned into a scene of terror, and then something unexpected happened. Under the weight of those hundreds of innocent stares, the wide eyes, the trembling lips, the soft sniffles, the man in the Santa suit crumbled. He dropped the sack, the sound of metal clinking inside echoing across the gym. His knees buckled and he sank to the floor. Tears streamed down his cheeks, streaking the white fluff of his beard. He whispered something no one could hear, but Rex did. The dog stopped barking, stepping closer, tilting his head. The transformation was almost biblical, from snarling guardian to empathetic creature, sensing a soul's collapse. Karen rushed forward, securing the man's hands gently but firmly. Officers in plain clothes emerged from the side doors. Backup she had called with a subtle radio click the moment Rex first barked. The sack was opened. Inside was stolen electronics from a nearby store. But there were also two small wrapped packages addressed to my girls. Later, they would learn that the man had lost his job, lost his home, and in a moment of despair had tried to steal not just for himself, but to give his daughters the Christmas he couldn't afford. It didn't excuse the crime, but it explained the heartbreak. What the children saw next was something they would never forget. Instead of dragging the man away like a villain, Karen knelt beside him. Rex sat too, pressing his warm body against Santa's shaking frame. The man sobbed into the dog's fur, mumbling apologies. It was a scene of raw humanity, a hardened canine, a weary officer, a broken man, and a room full of children learning that sometimes bad decisions come from deep pain. And sometimes the strongest protectors have the gentlest hearts. The gym slowly filled with murmurs as teachers comforted students. Some children began to cry quietly, not out of fear anymore, but out of a feeling they didn't yet have words for. One little girl walked up and placed her paper snowflake in the man's lap before being gently guided back. Karen met her partner's eyes. Rex wagged his tail once, just a flick, as if to say, "It's okay now." Over the following weeks, the story spread through the town. Donations came in for the man's daughters. The police department set up a program to help struggling parents during the holidays. And at the center of it all was Rex, the canine dog who barked at Santa. Not to attack, but to protect, not to scare, but to save. He had sensed the hidden danger, but he had also shown compassion at the moment it mattered most. The children who watched that day learned a lesson more powerful than any classroom lecture. Heroes can be furry, and redemption can begin with a bark. As you watch this moment unfold, if it touched your heart even a little, please like, comment and share this video. Subscribe to Positive Tales so we can keep telling stories about loyalty, courage, and second chances that the world needs to hear. Your engagement keeps these real-life tales alive. Before we end, we have a special request. Please comment below with a time when an animal's intuition or kindness surprised you. Your stories inspire others. And who knows, your comment might become the spark for our next episode.